Hi, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me. Today I am doing my second design team project for the Not2Shabby Shop. The stamp set that I'm using is a Penguin Palace, and it is called Fun Night Out. And this, as a disclaimer, this stamp set was sent to me free of charge as a member of the design team. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And if you would like to pick up this stamp set, you can go ahead and head on over to Jamie's shop. I will leave the links below. I will also leave a code below for a 10% discount to the shop. And in addition to this awesome stamp set, Jamie's got a lot of awesome products. She's got the new Lawn Fawn release pre-order going on right now, so check that out. I'm going to go ahead and start this card off using some just distress ink in black soot. And I believe the stencil is from Visible Image. And so I have just taped that stencil to the card. I'm using one of the smaller blending brushes, and I'm just trying to make it the ink a little bit heavier on the top portion of each little square, just to give it, I don't know why I did that. I just thought it would look nice. So I started out with kind of the bigger, it's the smallest blending brush that I have, but it's a little bit bigger than what I wanted because I was trying not to, even though it's all black, I was trying not to get any in the other squares. So I switched to my very smallest one, which is a really tiny round one, and it worked perfectly. And I think I really love this pattern. I was kind of thinking of like a 50s theme for this card, I guess. And so I'm just right here trimming off the ends of the card. There's a little bit of white space, which means I'll have to trim up my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base a little bit. And I'm trying to create a kind of a graduated hoop, so like a volcano, where it's bigger at the bottom and then it goes up and it's smaller. I don't use that many layers, but I do use 4 dies, and the dies that I'm using are these waffle flower nesting circle dies, which are great because there are tons of sizes. And so the sizes that I chose is I picked the largest one, and then I skipped the next size down, and then chose kind of like the third one, and then I skipped the next size down. So I'm skipping one in between each of the layers. So this allows me to have enough room for my foam tape because I will be popping up 2 of the circles. So I wanted to make sure I had enough room to put my foam tape so I wouldn't have to cut it. So I went ahead and I placed those on my card panel and secured it with a piece of washi tape, and then ran that through my Big Shot machine. And then the layers got all messed up. I should have left them together so that when I was putting them back onto the card, I wouldn't have to turn it this way and that to make sure all of my pattern matched up. So for the main panel, I went ahead and I used my liquid glue. I think this is the glitter glue, and secured that to my main panel. And then the largest circle, I'm going to use my liquid adhesive as well, and that will just go flat on the card. And the reason I put this layer flat instead of popping it up is because I did not want the card to be too thick. So what I do is I place this one flat on the card, and then the next largest size, I put 1 layer of foam tape. And the foam tape I'm using is the scrapbook.com 1/8 inch foam tape. They just came out with this not too long ago, and I've been using it a ton. It's super helpful, and it's really convenient because you don't have to cut it, especially for like the small sentiment strips and doing shaker cards and things like that. It's just super convenient. So I went ahead and I adhered the second largest hoop, and then I'm going to do the next size down. And so I'm doubling this foam tape up, and so I'm just leaving the foam strip on the sheet, excuse me, and then folding it over on itself. And so I'll go ahead and use that doubled up portion. So I actually need 2 strips of the foam tape doubled up, one for each half of the circle. And It's always easier when you're doing a curved area with the foam tape to take off that backing piece of paper instead of leaving it on. It's very hard to work with when that backing paper is on, but when you take it off, that foam is super flexible and really easy to work with. And so the little girl dog is the only image pretty much that I'm going to use in this card. And so she's going to be in the center of the circle. So I'm going to color her up with some alcohol markers. So I'm stamping her in black Memento ink. And then I'm also going to stamp up the little disco ball. And I'm going to go ahead and color those images with my Winsor Newton alcohol markers. And so I'm not doing anything crazy with the coloring, and in fact I don't really know how to color, so I've sped it up quite a bit. So I'm just using pretty much two colors, a lighter color and a darker color, and coloring the image. And I'm leaving her top portion of her dress white and then the bottom portion red. And then I'm just going to color her in kind of a medium brown tones. So it's super quick. It's alcohol marker coloring is something that I am not super comfortable with, but I like to do it because I think it looks nice. And when it's nicely done, it looks really nice. But mine is just basic, you know, two-color coloring, nothing to write home about. But it's a work in progress and something that I am working on this year. And then I've taken my white Jelly Roll pen and just given her some polka dots on her dress. And I am also taking my black Jelly Roll pen and defining the facial features a little bit. And then here I'm just taking a darker alcohol marker to put in the details of her hair. The disco ball is just being colored in shades of cool grays. And then once I'm done with those, I will fussy cut them out. So my original idea for the center of the card where the little girl is going to be standing was to go ahead and use, this is Nouveau Crystal Glaze. So it's just a clear glaze like glossy accents. And I'm just covering that up to make it look like the disco floor, you know, is shiny. I ended up not liking the way that looked, so I didn't use it, but I do add some of the glossy accents to the surrounding areas of the card. And here I'm taking the little notes and putting those in several areas around the card. And like I said, I really like the way that that glossy accent looks, kind of to give it like more of like a dance floor feel, I guess. Gives it some shine. But once I placed that in there with her on top of it, I just I thought it was too busy and it didn't kind of highlight her enough, and so I think the white space does that, kind of breaks up the card a little bit better. And so I went ahead and I added a mini action wobbler to the back and placed her in the center, and then I put a piece of foam tape on the disco ball and put that up above her head. And then there's a sentiment in the set that says shake, and so I popped those three up with foam tape, so it says shake, shake, shake. And then I'm going to take some of these unicorn stickles and add that for a little bit of detail on the disco ball. And then I'll also go ahead and add the Nouveau Crystal Glaze to several of the black squares, just to give it a little bit of a shine and a little bit of dimension. I like this card way better than the first one that I made. This one is a lot cleaner looking to me anyhow, and I love those action wobblers. They're so cute. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it or found it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you are interested in this stamp set or want to check out what Jamie's got in the shop, please go ahead and use the link below for her shop and check out all the cool things. Thanks again for joining me, and I will catch you next time.